This morning, you automatically rinsed his bowl before you even realized it was empty. Not empty because you forgot to feed him. Empty because he's no longer here. Your hands knew it before your mind could accept it. This isn't a small moment. This is the moment the grief really begins. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Not funerals, not grief guides. We're talking about the quiet rituals, the habits that suddenly have nowhere left to go. Reaching for the leash when you put on your jacket. The pause. That brief freeze afterward. These moments don't announce themselves. They just arrive, and they're the hardest ones. Because habits don't have an expiration date. The body remembers longer than the mind. In this video, you'll understand 3 things that might genuinely help you today. First, why your body reacts as if he's still here, physically, completely real. Second, what's behind these rituals and what they reveal about your love. Third, what you can do with that empty bowl without forgetting him. The first week after his death is not a normal week. You already know that. But what you might not know, your brain spent months building circuits. Every time you got up at 7, he was ready and waiting, and you felt that. That predictability wasn't a small thing. It was a living part of your day. A study from the University of Veterinary Medicine Vienna examined routine patterns after pet loss. The result was clear. The body maintains routines, even when the reason for them is gone. That means you're not weak. You're human. Your system is still running. It's searching. The bowl is still there because you haven't put it away. That's not forgetfulness. That's dignity. Getting up every morning, filling the bowl, opening the door, that wasn't obligation. That was your language. You gave him care. He gave you structure. That was a real, daily exchange. Now one side of that exchange is missing, and your daily life suddenly feels shapeless and too large. Not because you're forgetful, but because you truly loved him, deeply and daily. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you instinctively called his name without thinking? Maybe while cooking, because the sounds in the kitchen always drew him in. Maybe in the evening on the sofa, because your hand reached left without thinking. Maybe at the door, because for a split second you thought, someone wants to go out. These moments are not a sign that you've forgotten what happened. They are a sign of how deeply he was embedded in your daily life, deeper than you ever realized. The brain builds routines to save energy. Routines with him were your normal state. Now your brain is searching for the familiar pattern and can't find it. That causes stress. Not a metaphor. Neurobiological stress. Your body is processing loss right now, real and physical. And now here's something many people misunderstand. These rituals weren't obligations. They were expressions of your affection, lived daily, without you ever calling them that. The 7 o'clock walk, filling the bowl, opening the door after waking up. None of that was mechanical routine. That was care in small, concrete packages. And now those packages are somewhere, without a recipient. That's the core of this pain. Here is the first quiet moment most owners describe, the first walk alone. You don't take the leash, but your hand still reaches briefly for the hook. Or you walk the usual route, and only at the 3rd turn do you realize you're alone. This experience is so universal that almost no one describes it openly, but nearly everyone knows it. The body walks, the mind follows, the pain sits somewhere exactly in between. And on the way back, the return is often the hardest. You know what's missing at home. He's not waiting by the door anymore. The sound of his paws on the floor is completely gone. The scratching at the door, the quick tail wag, the brief bark of greeting. All silent. All of that was a small, welcoming ceremony that you never chose. It simply grew. And now the silence behind it is so loud it feels like noise in an empty room. Something else that's rarely said, you didn't just lose a pet. You lost a quiet companion, someone who answered without words. Scratching behind the ear was a dialogue. Leaning against each other on the sofa was a conversation. Checking to see if you were following, that was care on his part. Real, physical care. And you gave something back to him every day. It wasn't one-sided, it was connection. Now that quiet communication is gone. Many call it loneliness, but the word doesn't quite fit. It's more of a hum, a frequency that's no longer there, felt daily, now gone. Let's talk about the bowl. The empty bowl, still sitting on the floor. Maybe you haven't put it away. Maybe you can't yet. That's okay. That's not weakness. That's a quiet ritual that isn't ready to end yet. Many owners report leaving the bowl out for weeks. Not out of forgetfulness, but because putting it away would have felt like the final chapter. And maybe you're not ready to close that chapter yet. Nobody has to decide that. The bowl is an object, but for you right now, it's a symbol, a remnant of a daily life. Some wash it and place it on a shelf as an honest witness, not a monument. Not as a monument, but as a statement. Someone was here, someone I cared for every single day. And that deserves more than being quickly tucked away in a box in the basement. Now I want to talk about the time. The exact time that belonged to both of you. 7 in the morning, or 6:30, or 5:30, when he got older and woke earlier. That hour was your hour. Daily, without exception, for years, a quiet promise. What happens to that hour now? It's still there, only now you're alone in it. Some sleep longer, some still get up and don't know exactly why. The body still knows. The internal clock hasn't been reprogrammed yet, and that's not a flaw. That's a body that is loyal, even in grief, even when it hurts. And maybe this thought will help you. That hour still belongs to both of you. You can give it a new meaning. You don't have to simply cross it off the calendar. Erase something that vets and grief counselors consistently report. The worst moments are not the obvious ones. Not the first day, not the burial. The worst moments come weeks later, unexpectedly, in the middle of everyday life, without warning. You're at the store, and you see dog food on the shelf. You hear a bark on the street. You find a forgotten toy behind the sofa, and everything opens up all at once. In those moments, something bursts open that you thought had healed. That startles you deeply. But erase the truth. That's not a setback. That's the normal course of real grief. Grief doesn't come in a straight line. It comes in waves, sometimes after weeks of apparent calm. And a forgotten toy is not a failure. It's a key to a living memory. Let's talk about the evenings. The evenings were different from the mornings, completely different. In the morning, he was alive, excited, waiting. In the evenings, he was a heavy, warm body beside you. On the sofa, on your feet, at your side, that physical weight is missing now. Not just emotionally. Your body misses the weight, the warmth, the gentle pressure. And when you sit on the sofa in the evening and feel empty, that's your body searching too. Not just for the fact that he's gone, but because your body is still actively expecting his presence. The sofa still holds his shape. Maybe he left it there. Maybe you can still see it. These small physical traces are what make everyday life so unexpectedly hard. Because you didn't think a dent in a cushion could be a trigger for pain. Now the part that genuinely took my breath away the first time. Not only do you miss the routines, he had routines around you too. You were his center. He waited for the sound of your keys, your footsteps, your voice, every single day. That was his daily life. You were his ritual, the thing he could count on each day. Just as you embedded him in your daily life, he embedded you in his. That's the true exchange no one talks about, the mutual embedding in each other's lives. Not just you loved him, but you adjusted the rhythm of your days to each other. That is deep connection, not performative, not displayed. lived, daily, in silence. And now you're the one still running, whose body still walks the old routes. That's not a tragedy, that's testimony. Your body is witnessing what was, and that is valuable. What do you do with his things? The bowl, the leash, the bed, the blanket with his fur. There is no right answer, and anyone who prescribes one hasn't understood what this is. Some put everything away immediately because the presence of the objects is unbearable. That's valid. Some leave everything in place because clearing things away feels wrong. That's equally valid. Some keep one single object, the one that means the most. It's not a souvenir. It's a quiet proof that what happened here was real and that it counts. What many don't know in the first weeks, the people around you often don't see this. They say, "It was just a dog," or "You can always get a new one soon." These words don't come from cruelty. They come from genuine ignorance. That's the difference. Because the loss of a pet is not smaller than human loss. It's different. And that difference makes it harder to talk about. No sympathy card. No official mourning period. But you don't need permission to grieve. Your grief is real grief. That stands. And now the moment I mentioned at the beginning, the moment that changes everything. This morning you automatically rinsed his bowl, or reached for the leash, or called his name. Before you even noticed, before your mind switched on. That's not forgetfulness. That is love in its most automatic, most honest form. Your body still loves him. And the next time you reach for his leash, and then pause, go ahead and cry. Not because you're weak, but because habit means attachment, and attachment was real. You didn't lose him because you stopped loving. You're losing him because he lived. What is empty now, the bowl, the leash, the spot on the sofa, that's not an ending. It's a sign of how much he took with him when he left, not from you, but with you. He took with him what you built together, and no one can undo that. Not just memories. He left traces in the body, in the rhythms, in your clock. These are his rituals, now living in you. That is him, living on through your habits. That is his quiet continuation in you, in what you do each day without thinking. Write in the comments today, what is the first ritual you miss the most? We read every single one, because every story about a pet is a real story. The empty bowl is still there, and you're allowed to let it stay a little while longer.